Welcome back to the Coin Lover and Treasure Hunter. Today we're diving into big money Washington quarter-dollar coins, focusing on the 1966, 1967, and 1969 quarters from the United States of America. You might have seen these coins many times, but some rare examples are worth far more than 25 cents. Stay tuned as we break down the values, rare errors, and what to look for, because you could be holding a valuable quarter without even knowing it. Let's get started. First up, the Washington quarter-dollar coin from 1966 with no mint mark, produced by the United States of America, and this video is designed for collectors, beginners, investors, history lovers, and anyone who enjoys learning about everyday coins that quietly carry powerful stories, because this single-year quarter sits at a fascinating turning point in American coinage when silver was disappearing, inflation was rising, and the mint was changing how money looked, felt, and circulated across the nation. And when you hold a 1966 Washington quarter in uncirculated condition, you are holding a small time capsule from a decade filled with cultural change, economic pressure, and major decisions by the United States government that still affect collectors today. The Washington quarter design itself began in 1932 to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington, and by 1966 the familiar portrait created by John Flanagan was already well known across the country, showing Washington facing left with strong classical features representing leadership, stability, and unity, and on the reverse side the eagle with outstretched wings standing on a bundle of arrows with olive branches symbolized strength and peace together. And although the design did not change in 1966, what changed dramatically was the metal composition, because this was one of the first quarters made entirely without silver, instead being struck in a copper-nickel-clad composition, which marked the end of an era and the beginning of modern circulating coinage. One of the most confusing and interesting features of the 1966 Washington quarter is the absence of a mint mark, and many people mistakenly believe this makes the coin rare or special, but the truth is that during 1965, 1966, and 1967, the United States Mint intentionally removed mint marks from all coins to discourage coin hoarding, because people were pulling silver coins out of circulation, and the government hoped that by removing mint marks, collectors would stop saving rolls by mint location. So even though your quarter has no mint mark, it could have been struck at either the Philadelphia Mint or the Denver Mint, and there is no official way to tell the difference, which makes this period unique in American numismatic history. When we talk about uncirculated condition, we are describing a coin that has never been used in everyday transactions and has no wear on the high points such as Washington hair curls, the cheekbone, or the eagle feathers, and an uncirculated 1966 quarter should still have strong original luster, sharp details, and clean fields, although it may show light contact marks from the minting process, and these marks are normal and acceptable in mint state coins, and collectors often grade these coins on a scale from mint state 60 to mint state 70, with higher grades being significantly more valuable and harder to find, especially because many were released directly into circulation and not saved at the time. In terms of value, a 1966 Washington quarter in average circulated condition is usually worth only face value, but in true uncirculated condition the value increases, and depending on the grade, eye appeal, and strike quality, the coin can range from a few dollars to several tens of dollars, and exceptionally preserved examples graded at the highest levels by professional grading services can reach even higher values, especially if they show strong luster, clean surfaces, and no distracting marks. And while this coin is not rare in absolute numbers, high-grade examples are much scarcer than people realize, which is why collectors pay attention to condition above all else. Another important detail collectors look for in the 1966 quarter is strike quality, because during the transition to clad coinage the mint was still adjusting its equipment, and some coins show weak strikes, especially on the hair details, and the eagle breast, and a sharply struck coin with full detail is always more desirable and valuable. And some collectors also look for errors such as off-center strikes, double dies, or clipped planchets, and while these are not common, they do exist and can dramatically increase the value of the coin, turning a normal quarter into a highly sought-after collectible that tells an even more unique story. The historical context of 1966 adds another layer of interest, because the United States was dealing with rising metal prices, increasing demand for coins, and the economic pressure of the Vietnam era, and removing silver from circulating coinage was a controversial but necessary decision, and many Americans did not trust the new clad coins at first, believing they were worth less even though their face value remained the same, and this mistrust led to hoarding, confusion, and changes in public behavior, which is exactly why coins like the 1966 quarter exist without mint marks and serve as reminders of how money policy directly affects everyday life. For collectors today, the 1966 Washington Quarter is often collected as part of a complete Washington Quarter series, or as an example of early clad coinage, and uncirculated rolls and mint state singles are still available, but prices continue to slowly rise as high-quality examples are absorbed into collections and removed from the market, and because these coins contain no silver, their value is driven purely by condition demand and historical interest rather than metal content, which makes them a great entry point for new collectors who want an affordable but meaningful piece of American numismatic history. If you are considering subscribing to a coin collecting channel or investing time into learning more about coins like this one, it is important to understand that knowledge is the real value, because the more you learn about grading history, mint practices, and market trends, the better decisions you can make. In channels that focus on education, long-form explanations, and real examples help viewers develop a trained eye and patience, which are essential traits in successful collecting. And by subscribing and following along, you join a community of people who appreciate the quiet depth hidden in everyday objects like a single quarter from 1966. In conclusion, the Washington $quarter coin from 1966 with no mint mark in uncirculated condition is not just a piece of spare change, but a symbol of transition, adaptation, and history, representing the moment America moved away from silver and into the modern age of coinage. And while it may not make you rich overnight, it offers lasting value through education, enjoyment, and connection to the past. And whether you keep it in a collection, share its story on a YouTube channel, or pass it on to the next generation, this coin continues to speak quietly about economics, trust, and change, proving that even the smallest pieces of money can carry very big stories. Next up, the Washington $quarter coin from the year 1967 is one of the most interesting modern-era coins from the United States of America, because it comes from a special time in American coinage history when silver was removed from circulating quarters and the mint stopped using mint marks entirely, and this creates a lot of confusion and curiosity among collectors and beginners who find a quarter dated 1967 with no mint mark and wonder if it is rare, valuable, or something special. And the answer is both simple and fascinating, because every quarter from that year was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, and none of them carry a mint mark, which makes the absence of a mint mark completely normal and expected. And this coin represents a major transition in United States coin production, design, materials, and economic policy during the 1960s. In 1965, the United States government decided to remove silver from quarters, dimes, and half dollars because the rising price of silver made it too expensive to keep using precious metal in everyday coins, and by 1967, the new copper-nickel clad composition was fully in use, and the Washington quarter from this year is made of an outer layer of copper-nickel bonded to a pure copper core, which gives the coin a total weight of about 5.67 grams and a diameter of about 24 millimeters and a reeded edge. And this composition is important because it means the coin has no intrinsic silver value, and its worth is based entirely on condition demand and collector interest rather than precious metal content. The design of the 1967 Washington quarter features the familiar portrait of George Washington on the front facing left with the word Liberty above his head and the motto "In God We Trust" appearing to the left, and the date 1967 below, and the reverse shows a heraldic eagle with wings spread perched on a bundle of arrows with olive branches below, and the words United States of America and $quarter surrounding the design. And this classic look was used for decades and is instantly recognizable, making it a cornerstone design in American numismatics. And for many collectors, the 1967 issue represents a nostalgic piece of everyday history that millions of people used in daily transactions during the late 1960s. When it comes to value, the 1967 Washington quarter without a mint mark in uncirculated condition is generally worth more than face value, but not extremely rare or expensive, because over 1 billion of these coins were produced, and many were saved in rolls and bags by the public and collectors who believed they might become valuable someday. And in typical uncirculated condition, a nice example may be worth around $5 to $10 depending on eye appeal, luster, and strike quality, and exceptionally well-preserved examples with strong luster and no marks may reach slightly higher prices, especially if graded by a professional coin grading service. But it is important to understand that this coin is valued as a collectible rather than a rare treasure. Uncirculated condition is a key factor in determining value because it means the coin shows no signs of wear from circulation and retains its original mint luster and sharp details on Washington hair, the eagle feathers, and the lettering. And many coins from this year may look shiny but still have small contact marks from being stored in bags at the mint, so true uncirculated examples are judged carefully, and collectors often look for smooth fields, strong rims, and an overall fresh appearance. And while there are no officially recognized major varieties for the 1967 quarter, some collectors enjoy searching for minor die variations or errors which can add interest and sometimes value. The historical context of the 1967 Washington Quarter adds another layer of appeal because this was a time of social change, economic adjustment, and technological advancement in the United States, and the decision to remove silver from coins marked the end of an era and the beginning of modern clad coinage that we still use today, and owning a quarter from this year is like holding a small piece of that transition in your hand, and for many collectors this coin serves as a teaching tool to explain why older quarters before 1965 are silver and why later ones are not, making it a useful and educational addition to any coin collection. From a collector's standpoint, the 1967 quarter is often collected as part of a complete Washington quarter set or as an example of the no mint mark years, which include 1965, 1966, and 1967, and these 3 years are unique because mint marks were intentionally removed to discourage hoarding and speculation, and this policy makes the coins from these years stand out in albums and sets, and while they are common, they are still necessary to complete a full date run, which ensures steady demand among collectors and helps maintain their modest premium in uncirculated condition. Storage and preservation are important if you own an uncirculated 1967 Washington quarter because improper handling can quickly reduce its value, and collectors recommend holding the coin only by the edges and storing it in a protective holder such as a flip capsule or album designed for coins, and avoiding cleaning at all costs because cleaning can damage the surface, remove luster, and significantly lower collector value. And even though the coin is not extremely valuable, treating it with care preserves its condition and keeps it attractive for future enjoyment or resale. For people interested in selling or buying this coin, it is best to compare recent sales from coin dealers, coin shows, and online marketplaces, and to be realistic about expectations, because while some listings may ask high prices, actual selling prices are usually more modest, and professional grading is usually not cost-effective unless the coin is in exceptionally high grade, and the real value of the 1967 Washington quarter lies in its historical significance, condition, and role within a larger collection rather than as a standalone investment. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1967 Washington quarter-dollar coin and want to learn more about United States coins, values, history, and collecting tips, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a new upload, and feel free to share your thoughts, experiences, or questions in the comments because your support helps the channel grow and allows for more long, detailed videos, just like this one, that explore the fascinating world of American coinage and numismatics. Next up, the Washington quarter-dollar coin, dated 1969 without a mint mark, was produced by the United States Mint in Philadelphia, and this coin represents an important transitional era in American coinage history because it was struck only a few years after the removal of silver from circulating quarters, and collectors often seek it as part of both date sets and type collections, and the absence of a mint mark tells us it was made in Philadelphia, which traditionally did not use mint marks during this time, and millions were produced for everyday commerce, yet surviving uncirculated examples are far less common today due to circulation, where hoarding habits, and the passage of time, and this coin carries the familiar portrait of George Washington designed by John Flanagan, which had already become a symbol of American money by the late 1960s, and the overall look of the coin reflects a clean, strong design meant for durability rather than ornamentation. The composition of the 1969 Washington quarter is a copper-nickel-clad structure with an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core, and this change from silver occurred in 1965 and was driven by rising silver prices and economic pressure, and many people at the time saved older silver quarters believing clad coins would be less valuable, which ironically makes high-grade clad quarters like this one harder to find today, and the standard weight of the coin is 5.67 grams with a diameter of 24.3 millimeters and a reeded edge, and when held in hand, an uncirculated example will show strong luster with a bright metallic sheen that flows across the surface when tilted under light. In uncirculated condition, the value of a 1969 no-mint mark Washington quarter depends heavily on its grade and eye appeal, and while circulated examples are generally worth only face value, an uncirculated coin can range from a few dollars to significantly more, especially in higher mint state grades, and coins graded mint state 60 to mint state 63 might sell for around $5 to $10, while mint state 65 examples can reach values of $20 to $40, and superb gem examples graded mint state 67 or higher can command prices exceeding $100 or more depending on demand and certification, and these values are influenced by strike quality, surface preservation, luster, and the absence of marks, which collectors carefully examine using magnification and proper lighting. The Philadelphia Mint in 1969 produced over 100 million Washington quarters, and despite this high mintage, truly pristine examples are rare because most coins entered circulation immediately and were used extensively during a time of high cash usage, and vending machines, parking meters, and everyday transactions caused rapid wear, and bag marks from storage and transport also affected many coins before they ever reached the public, and uncirculated coins that survive today often come from original mint sets or rolls that were stored away by collectors or investors who recognized the importance of preserving coins in original condition, and these storage choices decades ago directly affect modern value and availability. From a historical perspective, the year 1969 sits at the crossroads of cultural and economic change in the United States, and this quarter circulated during the Vietnam War era, the Apollo moon missions, and a period of inflation and social transformation, and coins like this were part of daily life, used by millions of Americans for groceries, newspapers, transportation, and entertainment, and holding an uncirculated example today offers a tangible connection to that era, untouched by commerce and preserved as it appeared when it left the mint, and this emotional and historical connection adds intangible value that goes beyond simple market pricing. Collectors often evaluate uncirculated Washington quarters by looking for full hair detail on Washington's portrait, sharp lettering on the obverse and reverse, and strong eagle feather definition, and the reverse design features a heraldic eagle with wings spread, clutching arrows, and olive branches symbolizing strength and peace, and in high-grade coins the eagle appears bold and well-defined with minimal flattening, and original mint luster should be uninterrupted with no dull patches, cleaning marks, or discoloration, and any signs of improper cleaning can dramatically reduce value even if the coin appears shiny to the untrained eye. Certification and grading by professional services can greatly influence the market value of a 1969 no-mint mark quarter in uncirculated condition, and coins encapsulated by major grading companies are trusted by buyers and sellers alike because they provide an independent assessment of authenticity and condition, and a higher certified grade can multiply the value several times over compared to an uncertified example, and for collectors, building registry sets certification becomes almost essential, and this competitive aspect of collecting continues to drive demand for top population coins, especially those with exceptional visual appeal. When discussing subscription or investment style value, it is important to understand that clad quarters like the 1969 Philadelphia issue are not typically considered bullion investments, but rather collectible assets whose value grows based on scarcity, condition, and collector interest, and while dramatic short-term gains are uncommon, steady appreciation is possible for high-grade examples, especially as more coins are lost, damaged, or improperly cleaned over time, and collectors who consistently acquire certified uncirculated coins and hold them long-term often benefit from gradual market strengthening, particularly as younger collectors enter the hobby and seek to complete classic Washington quarter sets. In a YouTube educational format, this coin serves as an excellent teaching example because it allows discussion of mint marks, grading, clad composition, history, design, and the difference between face value and collectible value, and viewers can learn how a common-looking coin can become desirable through preservation and knowledge, and showcasing close-up footage of an uncirculated 1969 quarter rotating under light can visually demonstrate luster, strike, and surface quality, and comparing it to a circulated example helps audiences understand why condition matters so much in numismatics. In conclusion, the 1969 Washington $quarter coin without a mint mark in uncirculated condition represents far more than 25 cents because it embodies a specific moment in American history, a shift in coin composition, and the importance of preservation in collecting, and while it may not be rare in absolute numbers, it becomes special through condition and careful stewardship, and for collectors, educators, and history enthusiasts alike, this coin offers a rich story, steady collectible value, and an accessible entry point into the deeper world of United States coin collecting. Thanks for watching.